One thing you mentioned during our first interview that I picked up, that my ear caught, that I wish I went deeper into, was the fact that you said you were a great coach. And I think being a great coach is something that a great operator is. So what is a great coach? Take us through your coaching
Empathy.
style. Okay.
Empathy for your team. Empathy, treating people like individuals. Always having a plan, right? A team, and I'll give you a great example. We're sitting here in Houston, and we had an amazing opening, like beyond reality. It was an hour and a half wait for donuts in line. It was a 2-hour wait in the drive-through, and I was scheduled to leave the day after opening, right? And so I get all the way down the airport. I literally say goodbye to the team here, and I get to the airport. I check in, and I go right to the gate to get on the plane. And literally, they're calling my gate to board, and I think to myself, "You can't leave. You just can't leave." Right? The captain doesn't leave. He doesn't leave. He can't leave. He or she can't leave. So I literally just stepped away. I called United. And I got an Uber, and I called United and said, "I'm not getting on a plane. I don't know when I'm going to go back to Portland. Can you please extend it?" And I got right back to the store. And I've been here now for the next 5 days. And listen, that's not patting myself on the back, but when you ask about a great coach never leaves, right? A great coach is there in the middle of it. You can be a great, when you're winning, it's easy to be a great coach, right? It's not, you don't see the guy on TV when they're winning. You see the guy in the losing and how he's reacting, how he or she's responding to it, and how they're reacting and how they're getting their team motivated around it. And so, you can have a successful open like this, but that doesn't mean the team's having success, right? They're in the weeds 24/7.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's being tenacious, again, going back to the same thing. It's also never leaving, right?
Yes.
Being committed enough to stand beside them and leading for the front. It's funny, every month I have a conversation with all of our general managers, and it's great time. Tomorrow's the call with them, and tomorrow we're going to talk about leading from the front.
Yes, pulling instead of pushing, right?
Right, lead from the front, right? Don't sit in the office to be the manager. Don't sit in the ivory tower to be the manager. You want to be a leader? Get up in front with your team, right? Let them see you. That doesn't mean you have to be, I'm not washing dishes. But I am certainly standing by the dishwasher telling them what a great job they're doing.
Yeah. Or at least showing, like, painting that picture of perfection, right? And you have to be in the front for everybody to see what that looks
and then,
like.
then also identifying folks that just don't fit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard conversation. I'm sure, many times we don't have this kind of dialogue where not everyone's a fit. And you have to, as a good coach, identify when they're not a fit and move quickly to move them out because they're impacting the team. Right,
So
in success of the team.
So the big things I have identified are not being able to, or not being willing to quit, always being there, right? Empathy, you said in the very beginning. Knowing who isn't a good fit, right? And what else did we say? Always being there, right?
Leading from the front.
Leading from the front. We might have repeated
leading
a couple,
leading from the front.
They're all in there.
Yeah, they're all in there somewhere. And sometimes I'm known to kind of ramble, and
great.
I've been here at the store now, I think, for 12 days or something. And so, but the reality is, I look at it is my job as the CEO or as the head coach, right, is to motivate the team to be the best they can be. And the reality is, some are better than others, and that's great. But they're all part of the mechanism that moves the team forward.
Yeah.
And always having a plan, right? I always have a plan to think through. Okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? That's a great coach.
Backups.
You're never surprised, right?
Yeah.
And for me, a great coach is never surprised by something that happens.
The way I'm thinking about, because your sport was baseball, right?
Yeah.
So you got to teach your team what happens if the shortstop misses the ball. Like,
what happens if he breaks his ankle?
Exactly.
Right?
But what's your backup plan?
What's your backup plan?
You know that the left fielder is going to back up this. And if who's going to back up the left fielder if they miss it? The center fielder, right? But you have to have these scenarios, and you have to paint these pictures of if this then that.
And
right?
I think in the millennial world today, you're seeing different kind of coaches. And I'll use sports analogies because that's just kind of near and dear to my heart. But you have different kind of coaches. Pete Carroll with the Seahawks is a rah-rah, this boom bah guy, right? He gets the best out of his team. Bill Belichick's a little more disciplinarian, right? He's a little more disciplinarian, right? But you watch these guys, and I'm a student of watching coaches and how they put their teams together and how they motivate their teams and how there's no excuses, right? Coaches don't make excuses. Coaches fix things and provide solutions, exactly. So if we have an issue and we have an error, we just own it, right? And a coach is the first to own it.
Yes.
He is the first one to say up and say, we made a mistake there. To my teams, and I'm like, we made a mistake, I own it. I'm sorry. Here's what we have to do to fix it. Here's how we're going to fix it.
What's the power of owning it? What's going on when that happens?
Oh, I think from my seat, from my side, owning it gives me comfort because at the end of the day, I have to have trust, right? Trust. I have to trust my employees, our employees. Our employees have to trust me. Our leadership has to trust me. Our investors need to trust me. I need to trust them, right? So, I also recognize just because I'm the CEO, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not Superman, right? I got to know my limits, right? And I got to know, and I got to understand. At the end of the day, I'm just a person. I just have to be in the restaurant business, but I gig it, right? I love being in the restaurant business. It's what I do. It's who I am. And I recognize tomorrow I couldn't go to work for the Gap. I couldn't do that at the retail side of business. I like to feed people. I like to see people leave happy. I like to see our employees leave. And so I think that comes across to the team, and they understand directly every time just who I am, right? I say good morning to everybody. It's a niche for me, right? Good morning to everybody.
Well, you actually see them, and it shows. It's like there's this African word, and it translates to hello. Well, it's like hello, but it means I see you. It's like this tribe in Africa. I can't remember what the word actually is, but it's like how they say hello, but it translates literally into I see you, and that's what you're saying when you say good morning.
I think so.
Like
I
think
think
we need to be seen. We need to be recognized.
But listen, we learned it as kids. You said hello. You said thank you.
Yeah.
Why does it stop when you're 25 years old? Why is it okay to
I don't
stop?
know.
Right?
I mean, in the world we live in, we're just becoming more and more transactional. I don't like it.
Totally. And people are looking at their phones and they're moving around, right? No one's taking the time to say hello or goodbye or thank you or, the word thank you. We talked about this before. Gratitude is such a powerful, such a powerful emotion, and I'm internally grateful to everybody that's contributed to my success.
But you got to show it. You got to communicate it some way.
You have to.
And by just saying good morning is just a simple thing you could do.
I think so.
To communicate that. And we started this section of the conversation by talking about why it's so important to be honest. I think, right? We're talking about honesty, owning it. That was what we were talking about. Owning it. And when you own it, and the reason why I just said honesty, I got that confused because during our first interview, I asked you what's one quality every leader needs, and you said honesty. But when you're honest and you're open, and you admit your vulnerabilities when you do something wrong and you effed up,
right?
People are gonna be like, okay, it's like a dog, and I use this analogy all the time, rolling over and showing its belly, showing its weakness, and that instantly in that moment you gain trust. It's so powerful.
I believe so. I believe so.